tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads from over 200 countries and your #1 source in after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey guys, welcome to Extant. Today we're going to be covering episode 12, Before the Blood. With me today we have Adrian.
Hello everyone.
And special guest, Katie Cleary.
Hi guys, how are ya?
Awesome. So glad to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
And glad to have you back.
Yeah, great to be back.
Cool, so maybe we should just jump into the episode.
Yeah.
So general thoughts?
I really liked the progression of the episode. We got a lot of things solved. We got a lot of things figured out, and they kind of set some things up for the final episode. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And then there were some things that I was like, called it. But yeah. So
it's because you're so savvy.
I know.
This is actually the first episode that I've ever watched, and I think Halle Berry is a phenomenal actress, and I love her, and I think that anything that she does is, especially something like this, is just I think a little bit out of her element. I believe a little bit. I mean, even though the acting is just phenomenal.
Right.
I really think that with the two children, which is a little bit confusing to me because it is the first episode I've seen. I want to get your take on kind of how that all works out, and and where the second child comes in and the whole thing. So
it's a crazy thing because the basis of the relationship is Ethan is the child that she has, whereas the offspring kind of represents the child that she lost before when she was in the car crash with her ex-lover, boyfriend, husband person Marcus.
With the flashbacks that we saw.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I see.
And so they're both these active parts of her life, but she's actively essentially, what's the word I'm looking for? She's neglecting Ethan and pursuing this baby, so she's like living in the past, and which is kind of the whole ordeal with this show. It's about people living in the past and trying to like move forward.
So he's half alien, half
human? Ethan is an android because Molly, Halle Berry's character, can't have children, and her husband is a scientist, and he created Ethan, which is known as a humanic.
Interesting.
And they've taken him on as their own child. And then the other child that they call the offspring that has the glowing eyes is half alien and half hers.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. It's very, very different.
Yeah. And speaking of Ethan and the children, let's talk about Odin and Ethan. Let's because they have a really
weird...
what
was your take on the show?
Oh, my take? I don't have an opinion. I'm only here to usher in yours. No, I liked that. I mean, 2 podcasts ago, I was yelling, "Show me the alien," and now we get him. And I like what we got. It wasn't too shocking. It wasn't disappointing. It was like, this is a child that you assume came from Halle Berry, and it had nice glowy eyes. You get to spend some time. Like the whole time I was wondering if you actually would hear him speak or if it would only be through other people. So that was a nice moment. I mean, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but that was my general take on the episode, is that's what I've been waiting for, and I finally got it.
Okay. Did the child have a name?
No.
Did they name him? They didn't. Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
So up until this point, and now it's the offspring.
The offspring.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what
All
they
right.
call him.
Interesting.
But you can give him
With
a name
eyes.
if you'd like. Yes.
I think the offspring's fine. The alien offspring.
Yes.
It's a little creepy.
Alien, we'll call you Alan.
Alan the alien.
Isn't that
Secret Word of Alan Strange.
I was like, that's a thing.
So what do you guys think about Steven Spielberg? He's tried a lot of these shows, and we had mentioned earlier, do you think that it's going to go into a second season?
It kind of looks like it might just be set up for a mini-series. It's kind of the feeling that we're getting. Really? So I don't know yet. Yeah. They haven't really announced anything on CBS.
So it's the 13th episode, is that?
13th episode's the final episode.
Okay, so it's next week.
So, I mean, I know in its inception it was supposed to be a miniseries.
Yeah.
And I mean, having it go this long, it could, and yeah, it could continue on because you only have one episode left to wrap everything up, and they could leave you on a cliffhanger.
Seems like it might. I don't know. I mean, today was a cliffhanger, and then we couldn't see the previews next week, and I was like, oh,
flying
damn
blind.
It. Yeah, exactly.
I know.
But yeah, so
We'll see.
Hopefully, I mean, I like hosting for the show, and I hope I can talk to fans and talk about it
Come
with
back
fans.
next year.
Absolutely.
Why
not?
So Ethan and Odin, guys.
All right.
Ethan and Odin.
Okay.
So I mean, we come in and Odin is talking to Ethan, and he's about to leave, and he kind of tells him he sows a few more seeds of doubt, telling Ethan that they being Molly and John are going to shut him down. And so he gives him this little bitty remote that says, if they are going to shut you down in the lab specifically, you press this button and it'll contact me.
Yeah.
And from the last episode, we know that Odin had placed a detonator inside of Ethan's body. So essentially you could assume that this communicator is actually a detonator. Or at least the
he
remote
placed the bomb
trigger.
and then he gave him the detonator. Which, can I say, I thought that was horribly morbid to give Ethan the thing that would destroy him and be like, just press this button and I'll come running. I'm like, that's a horrible, morbid thing to do.
Right.
I know he's an android, but he's still a child.
Yeah, that is a little morbid. I gotta be honest. And he almost pressed it. He did flip it open, and I was like, oh, he's gonna press it, and then he didn't, and I was like, okay, all right. We're safe.
I wanted it to happen. Not that I wanted to see this child blow up, but like, here's the thing: is that Odin doesn't see him as a child. He sees him as a threat, and he also sees him as this opportunity to advance his cause. He will never be an object that he can sympathize with. So he's a tool. He's just like that. There was another episode where there was a garbage bot that was essentially destroyed by these children. And so to Odin, that is what Ethan is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. But he's still a child, and he's so cute. And he's a great actor. I mean, what is his real name?
Do
you know? I've seen him in other things.
Gagnon.
Pierre Gagnon.
He was in Looper.
Sophisticated name.
Yeah.
What was he in again?
He was in Looper.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was the kid. Like, the face is just, oh my God.
Yeah.
You can't forget that face.
Oh, of course not.
Are you kidding me?
He's amazing.
He's great. He's an amazing actor.
He's
Yeah.
awesome.
I want to hang out with him on the weekends. Be like, all right, you're gonna act. That sounds weird.
It does.
Can you act for me?
Take that back. Take that back.
Do a monologue. Do a monologue.
He probably could do one just like that. I guarantee you. He
Every
could.
actor loves that. Every actor loves when someone's like, "Oh, you're an actor? Do a monologue." I'm like, please don't do that to me.
At one point,
are you a surgeon? Do some surgery. That's like, oh, don't do that to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
For those who are listening, we're all making surgery gestures.
Yes.
So from that point on, so they take Ethan into the laboratory, and Charlie, before this happens, notices that there was a 90-minute gap in Ethan's functioning, and he brings it up to Julie, and Julie is like, yeah, he was hanging out with Odin while all the disaster stuff was going on, which then Charlie turns to Julie and says, why would you leave such a sophisticated piece of machinery, a sentient piece of machinery, not to downplay what he is, with a stranger, which starts to get Julie thinking. And from there, what takes place, Adrian?
Well, from there, I don't think it really necessarily gets her to thinking so much as when they actually do bring Ethan in. So once Charlie raises a suspicion, Julie kind of goes along with it just because she's like, yeah, that is weird. And then to be fair, in real life, why would you leave a child with a man you've only known for maybe 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah.
True.
So just side note. But anyways, so they do bring him in, and this is kind of what Odin wanted all along, is that he would come in and have suspicions about why he's being brought in and assumed that he was going to be shut down.
Right.
And from there, we get the moment where Ethan is about to set off the bomb, and Julie kind of calms him down and says, why would you think that? She's like, I'm half, robot as well, because she has
She has
android legs. Let's
yeah,
just go with
basically
that.
android
Oh,
legs.
wow.
Yeah, she lost
How
her
did that
legs.
happen?
They didn't really say how she lost them, but they gave us a scene where they showed that her legs are actually
Oh, wow. Interesting.
android.
Yeah.
But so when she finally calms him down and says, you know, why are you having these thoughts? He says, it's Odin. And that's what triggers her to go, well, maybe I don't really know who this Odin guy is.
Right.
So that was good to finally have that resolved.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen Odin actually make an appearance towards the middle or end of the episode. And I really did think at one point when she was in his apartment, she was going to come in, or he was going to come.
Well, yeah, I expected him to be right outside the door as she was like running to get Ethan, but that would be too predictable, and I'm glad that they didn't do that.
They didn't.
What was the broadcast though? That when she was flipping through, was it the pictures or and then he spoke?
Right.
What was that?
It was, from what I understand, he was keeping a log so that he could send these out once Ethan blew up.
Oh, I see.
So he had the one, which I assume he was going to edit down, of Ethan burning his hand and saying that if they try to shut me down, I don't know what will happen. And then he was going to release the video of him stating that Ethan blew them up as an act of rebellion.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank God we didn't see him blown up because that would be a little scary.
That's true.
Yeah.
But for an episode 12...
They would definitely not. I don't think they would do that. Maybe 13. Maybe 13.
Right.
But that would be a little morbid.
I think they're just never going to do it because
I hope
it's
not.
CBS, and
Yeah.
they still are a family-based
They are
programming
family.
station.
Yeah.
So
Right.
they're not
gonna
going to do
that.
that.
Yeah.
They might do a lot. But they won't do that.
Yeah. What about Katie and Sean? So what is the deal with the fact that he saw her body, and I really thought that she was dead.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it was a whole, ploy to basically trap him so he wouldn't trap her.
Okay, so for Katie and Sean, so once she was brought back, the Katie that we knew was brought to his ship. We had all assumed that that was the original Katie that was sent out and who had jettisoned herself. What was it, like 2 years
ago.
before?
Yeah, 23 months.
Which in all possibilities that couldn't have been, because I mean she wouldn't have survived. And before this moment, the last image that we had seen of her alive, she had an offspring inside of her stomach, and so he was trying to take her back to Earth on one of the pods, and she is essentially an agent for the whatever you would call the offspring's spore form.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Agent for okay. All right.
So she's trying to get them all to go to Earth, and that's what throughout the episode, every time that they said they're coming, it's those spores that they're referring to. So the scene with the where they were making out, and it pans out and you see all the fungus kind of creeping along the window.
Along the
That's
outside.
the alien.
Those are the
They're
aliens.
actually a
Interesting.
spore.
Yeah.
What about her father being very concerned? Is that just delusional, or is that?
It's a little bit of both. See, up until now, her father had assumed that she was dead, and the offspring was showing her the offspring was showing him images of Katie as a child.
Oh, I see.
And it was its way of manipulating him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, which helped when they were interrogating him. So it allowed them to essentially use him to figure out what Molly had done and what the offspring's purpose was.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna have to watch everything.
You should.
From the beginning.
Yeah, go back, watch it a few times.
Nothing
It's
like
on Amazon.
Yeah, watching one of the last
all
episodes to try to
available on
figure it out. I've always wanted to watch it though. So
Yeah,
It's fun.
So I mean, in that case, why don't we talk about Sean and Katie for a little bit?
Yeah, let's go to it.
Yeah. Katie was brought to Sean by the French ISEA, and then Katie, alien Katie, was essentially divulging how she had survived so long. She was saying that she had jettisoned her escape pod and put herself into stasis, which allowed her to live this long until she was picked up by the French. And you find out that her and Sean had a romantic past, and he had been chasing her the whole time that she was alive and grieved heavily while she was dead. So it's like this whole thing of them rekindling their previous affair, romance. Yes, that sounds good. I like that.
Affair.
Yeah.
Of course.
Which you come to find out was all manipulation, which is what these aliens are all about.
They are.
Seems like
They
it.
are. I didn't understand why Katie's body was on the Seraphim, because she didn't die on the Seraphim.
Oh.
She died on the Aruna.
He was inside of the Aruna escape pod trying to figure out what rations were left.
Oh, I see.
And so
So they loaded. Oh, that's right. They loaded the escape pod on.
Yeah, that scene was dark.
That was really good.
Yeah, because like for those who are listening, I'm making gestures, but essentially he is going through this this pod, opening up closets, and then you see her dead body jet out at him with a hole in her stomach.
Yeah.
Great Aliens reference right there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. One of my favorite movies. I love Aliens.
I was like, oh, they finally
How many
did it.
aliens did they make, by the way?
They made
There was
four.
a-
It
There was a lot,
depends.
huh?
Yeah, they made
If-
four, but
four,
if you
if
include
you-
the Aliens versus Predators.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't, because it doesn't have Sigourney Weaver. It doesn't count unless
That's
it has
true.
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney
I
Weaver's the
don't
best. I mean,
know.
you can't really do it without her.
No, you can't really.
I mean, she's the whole purpose of the film.
And then there are the
of them.
comics, and also
No, it's only about Ripley. It's only about Ripley. It's her story. Anyways.
all right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that scene was dark. That
It was very dark.
yeah.
Yeah. Not as creepy as Aliens, but it could get there.
Well, yeah,
It
because
could
you
get there.
didn't have to watch it come out of her, which is like so you
Yeah.
Would have been really bad.
could. It would have been terrible. Like
The face and the slime and the, oh my God,
Yeah.
it's like the little kid, in Aliens.
Right.
Like, yeah. Not too good.
which is interesting for me. Like that, the alien that came out of her looks just like her.
I don't know if that's. I think she might actually be a projection for him. Do you think? Well, no, I guess
no,
if the
because she
French.
was on.
yeah.
She was on camera. The people that are projections don't show up on camera. Like if you remember when Ethan walked in on John and he was cradling the air.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was confusing to me. So what was the mark on his neck that was kind of appearing during that whole
That is that's the mark that the spore leaves on people that it's controlling.
I see.
No one, they haven't exactly determined what it represents. Like we had previously on the show essentially guessed that it was the constellation where they're from. I had also theorized that it is the chemical composition of the spores. So like how all of them are just like little bubbles and things. So
They're moving around, yeah.
yeah, so they haven't revealed
Interesting.
what exactly it is, but that is what shows up anytime someone's being controlled or eaten by the offspring.
Or if they're in distress,
interesting.
if the offspring's in distress, he'll kind
Yes.
of shoot off that as a signal to say that he's distressed.
So it's
Right.
all a hallucination, essentially, what he's going through.
At that moment when she comes into the bedroom, that's all a hallucination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, interesting. That would really suck if it happened in real life. Want that
Wouldn't
happen
it
in the
though?
future.
I thought we made up.
Like the
nah,
Jetsons.
man.
What are you talking about? I'm so angry at you.
Yeah,
That'd
right?
be horrible.
Stop
be horrible.
hugging me.
A little scary.
So fake Katie tries to keep him from fixing the ship because the antenna was broken at some point, so he can't communicate with anyone on the ground, and I'm not sure if he's realized that they're careening with, or they're on a crash course with the Earth, which I believe he is because they're trying to take an escape pod out.
I don't think he knows that because all of his signals are down. Because that's where he made that reference where he said, oh, I thought I wrote that down, but I didn't. That they basically are the loneliest humans without their signals in
Right.
the universe or something, which was like kind of overly dramatic. But so
He's been alone for a really long time.
he's only
Adrian.
been up there for like 6 months. Come on.
Whatever. That's
Come
enough time.
on.
6 months of loneliness, talking to earthworms.
I can't imagine. Yeah, 6
Yeah.
months up in a
I
spaceship. Oh my
suppose.
gosh. You go
Have a
crazy.
heart, Adrian.
You go crazy.
I'm not
At least I would.
having a heart. I just said that's being a little dramatic
Right.
Yeah.
for someone who also has had, interactions with people via
Video, yeah.
video.
Um,
But no, so now I lost my point.
I'm
What were you
sorry.
going to touch on that?
What?
No, so the whole idea that Molly, her codes worked as a way to kind of intercept, and maybe do you want to just touch on that part now?
Yeah, we can touch on that.
Just how that her codes that she put in when she thought that she was hallucinating.
It was a distress signal to the Seraphim.
Yes.
Telling it that there were asteroids, not
yeah.
androids.
Yeah.
Androids on the way. No,
there were asteroids coming
heading
down
towards-
to kind of, and so it caused the Seraphim to go off course.
Right. And so he's trying to get Katie onto an escape pod, and she's trying to distract him by any means necessary, whether it be crying on his shoulders or making out with his face or, locking him in an escape pod.
Yeah.
So that's
she's
the
doing
thing.
it.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lack of oxygen, possibly.
Why? I liked that guy. Sean seems like a cool
He does
cat.
seem like a nice guy.
Yeah.
I think I like him better than Katie.
He's
I gotta
kind
be
of...
honest. Yeah.
He's one of the most likable characters in the whole show. Just because he's charming, he's fun. You get a sense of
he's cute.
his isn't he
He's
though?
handsome.
He is cute.
Yeah.
He is cute.
I give him that.
So and guys, he's lonely. So you should give him a call.
We gotta fly out there. See you soon.
No. Let's
Quickly.
see.
Actually, I did sell the actor who plays that Sean a bottle of juice a long time ago.
No way. Are you serious?
like,
How do you
yeah.
remember that?
Oh, I mean, because I've seen him in other things, so
Okay,
I
cool.
recognized him when he came in.
He just looks familiar. He
nice.
does look familiar.
So, side note. Anyway, sidebar.
But yeah. So that was that, and it leads us to a lot of questions for the next episode.
Yeah.
But before we get to talking about Molly and all her life dealings and things, let's take a moment to talk about iTunes. So guys, we really enjoy hearing from you, all your comments, all your tweets, all your likes, and your YouTube comments as well. We read and listen and respond to all of them. And we do this for you, and we know that you enjoy hearing from us. So why don't you go on iTunes, slap us with a 5-star if you believe we deserve it. If you don't believe we deserve it, slap us with a comment and let us know what we can do to help you out and improve this show overall. And speaking of improving the show, we have a survey on podcast1.com. That's podcastone.com, because I know how to spell. And it's 3 minutes of your time. It'll help us know how best to improve ourselves as a network, not even just the show, but as a network, how to best serve you. What do you want from us, and what we can do to make this the best network on the internet, on iTunes, on YouTube.
In the world.
In the world. The universe. Forget the world.
Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
other planets.
take 3 minutes. Go to podcast1.com and give us your feedback, because we'd love to hear it. Positive, negative, everything. It only helps us to be better people and a better network and a better show bringer entity.
Bringer upper.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. So now to Molly and stuff.
Molly and stuff.
Because she's like she's all over.
You know, she is the show. So
She is, yeah.
Everything concerns her.
Yeah.
That's true.
So let's see. Where do we start off with Molly?
Well, I guess the first thing we should state is she finally met her alien spawn.
Yay!
Face to face. And he was adorable with scary little yellow glowing eyes.
Yeah.
He didn't necessarily look as much like her as I wanted him to look.
Yeah.
You know, but he was still so adorable when he wasn't like doing the weird eye glowing thing and plotting Earth's destruction.
He was cute.
Yeah,
I could see
he was.
him
Yeah.
as a kid. Yeah.
You know?
He had a heart.
I was wondering where he got the that hoodie from. Like, where did he get his clothes?
He got it from the E.T. reference that Steven Spielberg just had to throw in. Like, he was just like,
true.
I gotta put it in an E.T. reference. So, you know what he's gonna wear? A red hoodie.
Hoodie. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right, actually. I didn't think about that.
Before I go see my mom, I gotta stop at the ET reference store.
If you could give me a red hoodie, that would be great.
Yeah.
There should be an
Yes.
ET store, actually.
That would be pretty sweet.
would be pretty sweet. I think it would sell very well.
It would.
All those red hoodies.
Back in the day when ET had its own ride in Universal, they had like a whole gift shop with
I've been
all
on the
his
ride.
paraphernalia. Yeah.
When you
Not
came out,
definitely.
I think you had to
When you
walk
went there.
through.
Yeah,
you had to walk through the gift store and had like all these little weird ET bobbleheads and stuff.
And the bike.
Oh,
I just
yes.
want the bike, the flying bike. I mean,
Aren't
can
you?
I buy that?
The ride was the bike, so you would
Yes.
ride, and it would be like you were on the bike.
That was
I guess
cool.
I'm kind of aging myself because I actually did ride the ET ride.
I
No,
wrote
I
it
did
too.
too.
Okay,
No,
okay.
no,
I
it's
did too.
fine.
We're
was
good.
like,
We're in the same boat.
Yeah, no, I
It's
can tell you
fine.
all the. He says your name at the end. Like it's
It
great.
was fun. It was one of the best rides, I think.
You guys are missing out.
Yeah, seriously.
2014.
If you ever get a spaceship, or by spaceship I mean time machine, you know to go ride that ride
The ET
first.
ride.
Back
Yes.
to 2003.
Yeah. Or the
Yeah.
Simpsons ride. That was actually really fun too.
No, it's super good.
Universal, do they still have it?
But anyway,
Sorry,
off
we got a
subject.
whole ET
Yeah.
tangent.
everyone cares.
Back to the
But-
offspring. But
but
that
the
was
offspring.
my thought was yeah.
Yeah.
That was an ET reference. But what did you guys think of the introduction of the offspring to her?
Well, yeah, it did look like her a bit. You know, I think that I like the feeling that they actually showed. You know, I was afraid that, like you said, he wasn't going to speak, and I was like, you know, I'm hoping that he does. And then when the eyes went away, I'm like, okay, I see a little bit of a human in there, you
Yeah.
know, and which is good. And so I like the fact that they gave him the human aspect and the fact that, you know, they gave him some feeling, and I think that it makes it more relatable.
I agree.
So.
Especially because while he's there, he shows words. He shows a significant amount of angst in that, like, he doesn't seem like he really wanted to accomplish the mission that he was on.
Yeah.
And he's really worried about all the other fungus aliens showing up, which I thought was a really great thing because now it doesn't make him this other; it makes him part of the team.
Exactly.
I
You're
think
right.
they made it a nice twist because I know for a while there we thought maybe he might be, by the time she met him or when he was physically introduced, he'd be like a grown man.
Yeah.
And if they had gone in that direction, then he probably would have been a little bit more malevolent?
Malevolent.
Evil.
Malevolent.
Yes, malevolent.
And now you know what words I cannot pronounce.
Malevolent.
Evil.
Malevolent.
Malevolent. I'm done.
Malevolent.
Evil. Evil. And so, by introducing him as a child, though it would have been cool for him to be evil as a child as well,
Right.
it did give you more of a sense of him having a heart and understanding why she did chase after him for all these episodes and she did care about him. And so it was nice that they decided to do that turn and that, you know, the people that he has killed, it wasn't because he wanted to.
Yeah.
And that kind of also for me showed a very similar parallel line to the Ethan storyline of everyone kind of suspecting Ethan going bad or turning into some crazy machine. And so it was nice to see them kind of show that, hey, these kids are just misunderstood.
Yeah.
They're not evil. So.
Yeah.
I was kind of afraid that he was going to turn back and you know have the green eyes and attack her actually. So when they were talking, I was like, oh, something's going to happen, and it didn't happen. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think that might go that way in the next episode? Do you think that he might turn?
I
Again?
think that he'll probably, like, if the aliens actually make it to Earth, he'll be faced with a dilemma. But I think that in the end he'll always choose Molly.
You think
because
so?
because like up until now he's been protecting her,
Yeah.
making sure that she's safe, and he came to see her once his mission was done. And I think, and even in because I was going to bring this up in that, like, I really loved the moment when he's showing her all the people from her past and like those images, and she's like, I just want to talk to you, and he's like, but no, like, isn't this what you want to see? Like, I just want to make you happy. And I thought that was a really good
Yeah.
moment to
Yeah, that
show
was a
like
good
who
moment.
this character is. He's still a kid, but he's conflicted.
Yeah.
That's good.
He shows them the images that they want to see. And I thought it was nice to hear him say that, yeah, it's a form of manipulation, but that's what people want to see. They want to see the people that they've lost. And
Yeah.
so I think that kind of shows that he's not all alien, that part
Right.
is something that is manipulation, but that's very much a human thing.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask if you guys think that that once the spore aliens become part human, do you think that there's a chance that that's what kind of mellows them out? Like, until they get blood and bodies, as he said, are they these just raging aliens? And then once mixed with the human element, they become more, I guess, humanized.
I think so. I do. No?
I think judging by Katie, or the alien version of Katie,
right,
that's not going to be necessarily true. I think it'll be just like with any type of species, where, you know, any type of intelligent species, that there's going to be nice ones, and then there will be not so nice ones, and so, and also the fact that I don't know, I guess I want to say because he was born, you know, he didn't like burst out of Molly like apparently Katie's spawn did. So I think he has a little bit more of a heart to him.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you train a dog to be an attack dog, it's gonna attack. If you train a dog to, you know, be loved, which is all that Molly has been trying to show him, then it'll be a loving dog that like
just like pit bulls and Chihuahua. You know, Chihuahua is the misconception behind that. You know, that all pit bulls are mean, which is not true. It's really how you raise them, and you know, and where they come from, and their history, and so you can compare it with that. Because I'm a big animal lover. So.
Yeah. Actually, why don't we take a moment to talk about that for a little bit?
Sure. So I have an animal welfare organization called Peace for Animals. I started about 2.5 years ago, and we focus mostly on endangered species. So our first campaign was for tiger conservation, because unfortunately there's only 3,200 tigers left in the wild, 1,500 of which are in India. And so we had a Satputa tiger conservation project in India, and it's partnered with Born Free USA and with my organization Peace for Animals. And we raise a significant amount of money to try to save them because of poaching for their teeth and their claws and their pelts, you know, that are used in ancient Chinese medicine essentially. And the black market trade of endangered species is a $20 billion trade. So not only that, but our next campaign is for elephants and ivory. 100,000 elephants were killed last year because of their ivory. And so that's something we're going to be talking about tomorrow on my show called World Animal News. And it's every Thursday live at 10 a.m. on tradiov.com. Okay. And we bring on different celebrities and animal welfare organizations, and we talk about these issues. And they're really hard to discuss because you get so emotionally attached to these animals because, you know, they don't have a voice, just like children. And, you know, you try to do your best to defend them. And a lot of people don't know what's happening, you know, with the ivory trade, what's happening with tigers, orangutans, and palm oil, which is another, you know, campaign that we have called Palms Off Palm Oil. And in 50% of the products in every grocery store, if you look on the back, it contains palm oil. It's the cheapest kind of oil that you can buy, and that's in any product that you really pick up. And it's decimating the rainforest at 300 football fields every hour, essentially. And so what's in the rainforest, and especially in Borneo, is orangutans. And they wiped out 80% of orangutans in Borneo because of palm oil. So I encourage people to look on the back of products. Don't purchase anything containing palm oil. Write your local grocery stores and say that you don't support them using palm oil, and there should be an alternative sustainable oil that they can use. And purchase recycled paper products. A lot of people, you know, don't understand that much of the paper that you buy in the store, any product really that contains paper, is essentially part from the rainforest and partly from the States. So they mix rainforest trees with, you know, trees in the States, and something I explained on CNN a couple weeks ago. You know, based on our campaign, we're just trying to, you know, be their voice and raise awareness for these issues that you don't hear in mainstream media. So specifically endangered species is what we deal with.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Give Me Shelter is a documentary that I produced. It took me about 3 years to shoot it, and it's about the most important animal welfare issues, and it's coming out on Netflix and Hulu and all the digital spaces in February. So yeah, check out Give Me Shelter. I'm hoping that, you know, everyone will like it, and it's a very important documentary. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
What was the name of the website where you can watch the show?
Yeah, it's actually tradiov.com, and the show is called World Animal News, and you can find out the latest breaking issues on worldanimalnews.com. And then if you would like to help us out and make a donation, it's peace and then the number 4 animals.com. And then Give Me Shelter, you can Google it, Give Me Shelter, my name, and it should pop up on YouTube. And you can also see it on Peace for Animals. So,
awesome.
Yeah, the trailer. Not the film yet. This is the trailer. So yeah, it's about being a voice for the voiceless, essentially.
Yeah, that sounds really amazing.
Yeah. So
cool. Yeah. Guys, make sure to check it out. If you didn't catch any of if you missed any of it, rewind, listen to it again. Make sure you have all the information you need, because this is very important. So make sure you get on it, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Adopt, don't shop. That's another one I forgot to say.
Adopt, don't shop.
Adopt, don't shop.
Yeah. Awesome. So I think that should take us into predictions. Predictions.
All right.
So we talk about what we think is going to happen next episode, because it's the season finale.
Oh my gosh! Wow. All right. What do you think?
All right, Adrian, go for it.
I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, something's got to be done about that Odin. That's my first thought. My second thought, if it is a miniseries with no intention of coming back, then Molly will sacrifice herself to save the human race. And I know we kind of thought that Ethan would be the one to sacrifice himself for the human race, but according to the offspring, it's probably going to have to be Molly.
Right.
Or maybe Ethan will step in place. Who knows? So that's probably my biggest prediction. And then I think we'll, So Odin, Molly going up into space, figuring out what's going on with Katie. Those are pretty much my predictions.
Okay. Works for me.
All right. I really think that Ethan might step in front of Molly and take one for the team. Really, I think that because of his love for her, and or it might be the other offspring. What do you think? It could be. What if it's both of them?
It should be both of them.
You think
hand
it
in
might
hand.
be?
Yeah.
Like a three.
That would be really morbid.
Well,
yeah, that would be.
Yes, but at the same time, it's for the greater good. It's one of those like
the greater good.
The greater good.
Yeah, and that's why we're here. It's for
exactly.
the greater good.
Yeah.
So why not? It's the season finale.
Yeah,
you gotta go big or go home.
CBS
Go
is
big or
just
go
like,
home.
you know what we're gonna do?
Yep.
We're gonna kill the only 2 kids we have on the show.
Together.
Yeah, seeing how it's a family network, I don't know. You're actually right. They might not do the kids.
You won't see them blow up. You'll see them, like, maybe they'll stow away on her ship and then
disappear.
Yeah, like it'll meet up with the Seraphim, blow it up in space, and then you'll be like, oh my gosh, news report about this lady blowing up this thing, and she never gets credit for saving the world ever. And you know, as the audience member, that she did a great deed, but the world will never know. And it's this like amazing tragedy that took place, and it's great.
You do realize that you just made the synopsis for the film Hero, right?
I've never seen that movie.
Oh my gosh. Like, he's a homeless guy who it's not saving the world, but he saves this guy from committing suicide, but nobody gives him credit because he leaves and other guy takes the credit.
Now I have to see it.
Yeah,
I haven't
right?
seen it. How come I haven't seen this movie?
I don't know.
Hero? When did it come out?
Like 92.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But
everyone should check that out. Dustin Hoffman. Okay,
totally.
plug. Yeah. Go ahead.
So I'm plagiarizing my my prediction from Hero.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that I'm hoping that, because the only way to wrap everything up would be to have all of these outlying things, Molly, the offspring, Ethan, and the anti-tech organization, have all of them just in some way disappear at the same time, unless they are planning on having another season.
Yeah.
And then it'll end most likely with Molly going up, a confrontation with her and Katie, and then fade to black. See you next season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they do a quantum leap and then they put us on a cliffhanger, or they do just the title sequence.
They might.
Molly was lost in space. She was never found again. And I just spoiled Quantum Leap for everyone in the world. But yes,
I hate when
they
they do
haven't
that.
seen it by now.
I hate when they do that.
Come on.
Those cliffhangers.
Yeah, right.
Then you have to wait till next year.
Yeah.
You're like, it's torture.
Awesome. So that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you for tuning in.
Where can we find you?
Oh, yeah, I'm girl,
I'm sorry.
I got this.
I'm sorry. I always forget.
Nah, it's fine. Adrian, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Miss Adrian Snow.
Awesome.
Nice.
Katie?
And you can find me on Instagram at Katie Cleary 11, and then Twitter, Katie_Cleary, and then peace_for_animals.
Awesome.
So, cool.
And I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me on Twitter at TauriJ. That's TaurijAY. You can also find me on the Doctor Who Classics panel on Wednesdays, the Sword Art Online panel on Sundays. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Peace.
Yeah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.